Okay, it's me again, Shane Lee. So, I did see a couple of movies this past week. All right. I saw The Whale with Brendan Fraser. Now, that went a little bit unexpected because it did have to do a little bit with homosexuality, right? Well, what happened basically is Brendan Fraser's character fell in love with this other dude, and they kind of had this little affair and got together, and he had a daughter from a previous relationship. And basically, what happened was the other guy died, maybe kind of more suicidal. And so, kind of was not what I thought it would be, right? I thought it was about this overweight guy and all this, that, and the other, but it was still overall a decent story, like I said, right? Had a involvement of a church and stuff like that, so there was a little bit of religion in it. And, that's what I'm learning is kind of the problem now, people, right? You're not reading your whole Bible, right? See, there are references to God where he's not a man, right? Well, that's a problem for you if you're thinking he's been lonely, right? There is a way to do that if you're both, right? That's called a true hermaphrodite, right? Well, that's why you don't know about it, right? Now, not a lot of people, except for maybe certain Greek authors, right, even came up with the concept of one. And there was once considered an island of hermaphrodites, kind of like Lesbos, but instead there were hermaphrodites on it. And they were kind of thought of as magical people anyway, right? Somewhat back then, right? And they were kind of not really known by the Romans or the Jews, for example, right? Neither one of them knew about true hermaphrodites. Now, Isaiah references, though, kings with breasts, right? Using shad, right? Or SHD, right? Or it's a sad, whatever it is, right? If it's the double S or versus single S, I don't know, right? But the thing with the S is there's a dot at the beginning of the hook and then one at the end, right? And it's three hooks, right, basically, into one letter, right? With the bottom of it joining them together, right? To kind of describe a sheen to or a scene to, whichever one you want to call it. Either way, or it's a scene, I guess. I don't know, right? Whatever it is, right? But anyway, right. Studio. Whoa. Is that Phil Collins? Anyway. Alright, and after the well, I saw yesterday The Devil's Conspiracy, and this had to do with Michael and Satan, but in modern day times, right? So this woman, she's at Turin, right? And she's doing a little thing about the devil, right? And Michael and all that, right? Whether he cast him into chains of darkness and all that, and so that's kind of where it's about. But they also have the Shroud and Turin involved, right? And basically, the DNA on the Shroud of Turin is missing a chromosome, right? Well, what it is it's not fully male, right? Oh, like I'm telling you, right? It's missing 22 chromosomes and only has a Y chromosome with no any other information with it, right? Which is kind of weird, right? No male has that kind of chromosome, right? So it's missing 22 chromosomes. That still makes him neither fully male nor female, right? Like I told you before, right? Well, Ron White, or Ron something, I forgot his name, but anyway, that could be a comedian, I'm sorry, getting confused. But, basically, a dude named Ron something, Wyatt, or something like that, he was looking for the Ark of the Covenant around Jerusalem, right? And he claimed to find some blood, right, on the Ark that he found, right? And he thinks it's from the crucifixion of Jesus 2,000 years ago. Well, he got a sample of the blood, sent it in, and they analyzed it, and it had 24 chromosomes, right? Well, ours has, what, 46? 46. So it's missing 22 chromosomes, right? Still making Jesus neither male nor female, right? Now, what he would actually look like in the flesh might be why John saw Paps. I'm trying to explain it to you, right? He's more female than male, actually, right? More woman than man, right? That's why he was priced at 30 shekels of silver, even though he was over 30, right? When he died on the cross. He's also kind of valued more as a slave, male or female, by the way, right? As well, at 30 shekels as well. Now, if either a male or a female slave was gored by an ox, right, you paid 30 shekels to their master or something, right? It's like some kind of death tax or something, right? Whatever Moses is doing there, right? Now, like I said, in my opinion, whoever wrote the books of Moses knew Moses personally, but they also kind of collected all the rules around him, right? Including cross-dressing and things like that. That, technically speaking, right? Like RuPaul or people like that, it's a choice too, right? Right. It's not that, you're going to burst into flames, right? If you put on women's clothing or whatever, if you try to be with a male or a female or whatever you want to be with, is not that saying it's not a choice, right? It's saying there's no rules, so we're going to get together every single rule, write them all down in the book, right? And that's what you got to do to be saved, right? You got to follow them all or you're going to help, right? So that's kind of the problem with the Bible, right? Everybody's trying to follow it, but nobody can really understand it because it's too many rules. 613 laws, right? All about what you can and can't do, right? And nobody can follow him perfectly in the first place. That's why Jesus introduces the idea of forgiving your mistakes, right? Instead of condemning them, right? Because again, we're all human, right? Alright, so the final movie I saw was Plane, right? With Gerald Butler and, what's the dude's name? I forgot already. I'm talking about the names, right? But anyway, an African American guy, right? So basically what starts out as a flight from somewhere in Asia, right, turns into a crash landing in the island around the Filipino archipelago, right? Archipelago, whatever you call it. Pelago, whatever. And they land on this island where there's these little, bad guys, they're out to get them and kidnap them, and right. So anyway, they crash on the island, and basically they gotta find a way off the island, and the dude who's on the plane is a prisoner, and he's being extradited back to the States for murder, right? Because he supposedly killed somebody and something like that, right? So basically, him and Butler teamed together to rescue the passengers as they were kidnapped as they were searching for a way to contact somebody and tell them what happened, right? And, basically that's the gist of the story, and if they get off the island or not is the final piece of the puzzle you gotta watch the movie to see, and of course, if it's a positive movie, we hope they get off the island, right? Alright. We don't want them to not get off the island, but anyway, right? So that can happen in reality sometimes, which is boring. Right. Sometimes the Filipino, little guerrilla warriors there over there, sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, right? I don't know. They've been known to kidnap people before, so again, right? That can happen to you or not over there, but just, mind your P's and Q's and all that. Mm-hmm. Now, some people go over there to find a wife or a girlfriend, but I can't afford to do that right now, but that's another thing, right? But alright, have a good day.